Let's talk about one of the most frustrating experiences as a screenwriter, without, naming any names or projects, but what it taught you, whether it was about the process, yourself, other people, working in a group.
The most frustrating part, look, I have a very sort of unique and singular thing that I do. And, this dark supernatural comedy and sort of a surreal take on things and all of that. And I kind of consider myself like licorice in a way, that you either love it and you eat it or you spit it out. But when I've been frustrated a couple times, without naming names, is when people basically ask me in a roundabout way to deliver Beetlejuice to them, deliver something that's quirky and idiosyncratic and surreal, and I've delivered it and I know it's good, and they're scared of it, and they try to ask me to tone it down and tame it to a point where it loses exactly what they asked me for. It's like, there is no next Beetlejuice. I'm saying this metaphorically or as an analogy, if you will. But when people say, just be you, just give us straight you, and then they get it and they go, ooh, I don't know. My great partner, Caroline Thompson, who I wrote The Addams Family with, and Caroline, wrote Edward Scissorhands, Corpse Bride. I could go on and on with her credits. We've said to each other, ironically sometimes, wouldn't it be nice if we could walk into a room and say, look, here's who we are, here's what we've done, here's what we want to do. Given what we've done, could you just please trust us to do it and see what happens? But that's not the nature of it. And so my frustrations have come when I feel like I've really delivered something, and I'm not going to name names, but there's one currently that I could go off a bit if I chose to. I choose not to go off about this stuff and get angry about this stuff much anymore. But where I really broke my creative back, giving someone something fresh and new and original and exactly what they asked me to do, and it scared them and they ran away from it. And that is frustrating. But there's always the next one. But you put, a year, 6 months, whatever it was, of that much energy, creative energy, in your heart and soul into something, and you think you've given someone exactly what they want. And I'm not arrogant about my work. I'm not saying it was perfect or anything, but I knew what was there was like really there. It would have been good, and they got cold feet, and that's frustrating. But then I say, well, DIY. I'll do it myself in another way, and that's the beauty of what's happened to the business now. Is I have that safety net of saying, well, if they don't like it, if they don't like me anymore, if everyone wants me to go away, they've had enough of Larry Wilson, I'll make my iPhone movie. It'll be exactly what I want.
I think it's interesting to think about, and I'm sure musicians have gone through the exact same thing, when you have these hits and then people always want you to go back to them and make a newer version. And can you talk about the pressure? And at what point did you feel that pressure?
Oh, wow. Very, very distinctly. I got into it was not, these problems of the well-to-do, as my grandma used to say. I got into a position after Beetlejuice and the Addams Family, that were just breakout huge hits that people didn't see coming, where I kind of got in that golden trap of where I would be hired without credit, usually not under the table, but without credit, to come in and write a scene or write a couple scenes for something, most of which never made it to the screen, but I'd get paid a lot of money to do it. I mean, a lot of money. And that's, you know, and it was always that, give us the Beetlejuice scene, give us the Deo scene, give us the, you know, the Addams Family, you know, the whatever it was, you know, give us that. But what I realized I was becoming a hack, or I was on the verge of becoming a hack, a well-paid hack, but a hack. And I was deliberately repeating myself, or thinking I was repeating myself for a paycheck. Well, I've had, you know, I have children, and my motives are pure, I guess, and a little, and some greed too, of course. But I made a break, and a producer came to me and said, I want you to do something for me. And there's a script of mine called Sleepless Beauty, which sadly has never been made. It's been to the starting gate so many times, it's unbelievable. But it's one of the best things I ever wrote, because the deal I made with the producer was, okay, I will do this, but here's the deal. Just leave me alone for the first draft. Just let's not have 100 meeters. Let's not do it the typical way. Don't ask me to do this, do that. Just let me write it. And it just, after feeling like I was really headed into hackdom, I wrote this script so fresh, and it's one of the only scripts where we were talking about putting it in a drawer, where the first draft is basically the draft. There may have been some sprucing up and some changes, but it just came out of me. It just flowed out of me. And I realized again that I needed to be that writer. And I changed my career too, much to the unhappiness of my agent in some ways and my people. And I started working a lot in Europe. And I found a way to go there and work, because I found a certain amount more respect, I guess, for the writing process. And I was thinking to myself, well, I can go work in London, or I can go work in Amsterdam, or I can go work in Paris, or I can go to Burbank. What will I do? And I refound myself as a writer. And and I don't even remember the question at this point, but I hope the answer is that what I became again was true to myself.
It sounds like that's really important.
Important to me. Yeah. I think it's important to everyone.
I do, but I think for some people maybe the comfort, and I can't knock that, especially if, you know, for me, I came from very modest beginnings, so I could see how people would want that.
Oh gosh, yes.
I mean, absolutely, especially in this town, when that's really how your success is measured.
Yeah.
And so, but it sounds like that's very important, is being able to live with yourself and your work, and not just for the paycheck. And I get it, everybody wants that paycheck.
Oh my gosh, yes, yeah. And you have kids and houses and responsibilities, and of course you want it. And I didn't turn my back and starve my family. I don't want to put it like that. But there was a calculation to it also, a career calculation, which was, it's that formula. Who's Larry Wilson? Oh, that's Larry Wilson. Get me Larry Wilson. Then get me the next Larry Wilson. That Larry Wilson is over. And I could feel myself getting to get me the next Larry Wilson point. And again, I could feel the quality of my work diminishing. And maybe this is the moment to wrap on. You'll tell me. But what I write has always counted the most to me, because it saved my life. I would not be the person I am if I didn't have my writing. My life, I can't imagine what my life would have been. And it's a place and a truth I need to go back to save my soul. I mean, not to be overly dramatic about it, but it's just the fact of it. And so when I feel that going away and I'm just doing it just for the money, doesn't work for me. And I have the bank account to prove it, which means send money. Ladies and gentlemen, all donations gratefully accepted.